Hey there, happy Tuesday there, it's me Victor. I'm sorry for not being back for a while. I know I do the weekly recap of the blog. No reason to do one last week, simply because I didn't trade at all. Once more, the point of these is just to track my trades and hope you learn something from them. But once more, all of these are for educational purposes only. Everything I say, don't take it as financial advice, okay? I talk about stocks. Again, I'm not profitable yet, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Being transparent is the goal within the channel, and again, do your own due diligence within every trade. But let's just talk about the trade which I took yesterday and some stocks to go over. First, Solo. All right, before I begin, the entire the entire EV sector, other known as the electric vehicle, has been on fire, mainly with the sector leader, of course, being Tesla. This has been a mother of God short squeeze, and that has been fueling other stocks like Solo and many more. I have just these four on screen to show you. All these are sympathy runners of Tesla. Okay, they're all different companies, all right. But as you can see, based off the chart, they move similar. Again, and it's not going to be the exact same price action because that's merely impossible. But once more, a sympathy runner, understand what they are. If you don't know what it is, just go look up Tim Sykes on YouTube. He has numerous videos of it. And I was short Solo yesterday, and I didn't do well. I mean, I was on the right track. I got short yesterday into the nice bounce right after the first hard crack. Now, one thing that I have been doing well is spotting these shorting into bounces. Now, that's one thing I took away from Tim Grittani's DVD, Trading Tickers, is that and it's probably the best thing, I like to wait. See, instead of trying to find the top, just like on which, sorry about that. But yeah, as I was saying, ideally, instead of trying to find the top and Solo, it goes for shorting in general, okay? And Nate from Investors Underground talks about it a lot, that you don't want to pre-exhaust yourself on the front side of the move, because with these moves, yes, they are fueled by short squeezes. Yes, this may not deserve have gone to go up the way it did, but again, you don't want to assume that a stock cannot go higher, all right? And for shorting, timing is very important, along with being positioned in the right moment, and that has a lot to do with risk management and patience. And for me, shorting with a small account, I would rather be a few cents late than a few cents early, if that makes any sense. Because again, with the larger account, I'm not saying you can't scale into any move, but with a small account like mine, I only have like $5,000 in my account. Of course, margin helps, but I'm not the one that likes to add, okay? And PDT, that's an issue with me. So ideally, for shorting, what I like to do, and I've been noticing this even today with the stock I want to talk to you about on MOGU. MOGU was very similar. I mean, it's not a sector play, but it's another. Why did I type that wrong? MOGU. Yeah, MOGU. This is another hot runner. No news on it, but I assure you, there's shorts here that's pounding this thing, saying it can't go higher. And again, wait for the hard crack. And I ignored this entire move, but I turned out to be a wuss, because this, again, shorting into the bounce right here. That is the ideal risk reward. And I'll talk about it in a minute, but that's something I've been noticing. I've been kind of hesitant. And as a trader, there's no reason to be hesitant in the trade, because if you are resistant to put the trade on, then you're lack confidence. One moment. As I was saying, there's no reason to be hesitant before we put on the trade. If there's a reason for doing so, then again, hesitation is a lack of confidence. And you gain confidence by tracking your statistics, tracking your A+ setups, what you're good at and what your weaknesses are. Why is this doing this? I'm not going to edit this out. This is annoying. On Solo, and I'll go back to this one in a minute, because that play is not done yet. There's going to be more room to come. But with Solo yesterday, again, I ignored this entire move. First off, I wasn't even in front of the screen the entire day. I was at work, and I was watching it the entire day. But again, I'm not going to trade for my phone, okay? Now again, I'm not a hypocrite. Sometimes I do because I love this shit, but more times than not, the odds say don't trade from your phone. Again, I'm not saying you can't. It's just, again, ask yourself, who has more of a competitive advantage? Someone trading on their phone or trading from their home office, right? And with multiple monitors, okay? I'm not saying it can't be done, but just know what you're doing. And I got off work early, and I saw this have a nice flush from, again, we're talking about shorting, being able to recognize the front side and back side of a move, okay? Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's easy. It's not. In hindsight, yes, hindsight makes trading look easy, but it's not. In the moment, you really don't know how far these are going to unwind, and I had this on my screen the entire day because I got off work early, and I saw this flush from 6 down to 540. I had an order in to get short at 560, but I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't have confidence, as I was saying. And again, why am I hesitating? Right? There's no reason for me to be hesitating because that would have been a good trade, shorting at 560. Right? I was aiming to short this at 560s, risking ideally 580s, and numerous times to short the bounce right here, short the topping action right here, but I didn't do it. And that's fine. I knew, of course you never know, but I knew the odds of this having a nice solid bounce, and that's what I waited for, and I shorted the bounce at 510. And as you can see, the next day it did have a nice, today, it had a nice gap down, but unfortunately, I didn't hold overnight. Why? Because again, back to being confident, I got shaken out. As you can see, my trade here, not the best fill in the world, kind of mid-range, but again, I had an entry, 510. My risk point is very important. I always say, be patient as long as your risk level holds as a trader, because there's no reason to get out of a move unless your risk point is hit. And I didn't do a good job, because on solo, I covered out of, sorry about that. But as I was saying, as a trader, you always want to have an entry, have a stop, and have a target. And ideally, I am a strong advocate of staying within the trade, letting the trade work for me. And again, you have to be willing to lose as a trader. And I say this time and time again, okay? And again, it's my opinion. I'm not a prophet, I'm not a master. I'm just saying it's my opinion. It's what I've learned from other traders, is that be patient as long as your risk level holds. Because as you can see, I got short at 510, and I covered in the after hours at 510. Well, I covered what time, Victor? I covered at 507. Okay, and that was an emotional cover. Why? Well, number one, yes, you may be saying, how come you didn't cover into the flush right here at 470s, Victor? Well, number one, I was taking a shower. Okay, don't make fun of me. I have a life. And I got short again at 510, right in this range right here, risking versus the previous pop of 530, that high day break, all right? And this was meant to be a swing overnight short. And as you can see, hindsight, this would have been a great trade, okay? Now, I'm not saying I would have covered likely into the flush right here because I went to work, and I was monitoring this stock. There was numerous times for me to short this today, and I just didn't do it because I didn't want to trade this with emotion, knowing that I missed out on the move from yesterday, so I just ignored it, right? But there's no reason for me to cover in the after hours, and the reason why I covered is, number one, it held 5, and number two, I didn't like the way that it was basing, it was consolidating, and that was fear. That was my emotions talking, my emotions placing the trade, because I was worried of this stock gapping up and past my 530 risk. And once more, before I put in the trade, I have to be willing to lose. And I didn't go through my game plan. I didn't stick through the trade. And that's why I missed out on the major of the move. And yes, I did profit what? I profited, I'm not complaining, it's not even worth any talk. It's not a loser. It's a net gain of $22, right? But this has been something that I've been working on. Is number one, the game plan is simple. Shorting the bounce, risk versus previous high of day of that bounce. That's great risk reward. I'm fine with that. I'm just not good. I'm not fine with my covers because I'm covering out of emotion, out of boredom. And again, being patient as my risk level holds. I cannot stress this enough. And if you're scared of the trade, you're either trading too large, and a simple solution is to use a wider stop. Okay, because using the wider stop, yes, that's going to give you less shares, but again, you can always add. And that's another thing that I'm working on, is starting to short, not going full size, just to dabble in. That's something I took from Nate from IU. I'm still learning, again, that I don't want to go scale full size until the trade is proving my thesis. That's when I want to add. I want to add in the money. And I don't want to average a loser, because there's a common saying that losers average losers. I don't want to add when I'm wrong. I want to add when I'm in the money, right? And again, that's my opinion. I'm not saying you can't get yourself out of a hole. I know you can, but again, you have to have a much larger account, in my opinion. And again, my account is roughly 5,000, so I really don't see how adding to a loser is going to help me in that area. But that's that one. I mean, no big deal. Again, these all are sector plays. I'm still going to watch them, Workhorse, Solo, BLNK, for any bounces. But once more, the trade on Solo, shorting into the bounce. And the main lesson here is just be patient as long as your risk level holds, and understand that you will lose some and you will win some. But more often than not, play by the odds, play by your edge, and stick to what you're good at. And this was one of the patterns that I'm good at, that I'm working on still. I haven't perfected, I haven't mastered it. I'm never going to master it. It's just something you work on day by day. But this was one to go for, shorting the bounce, and I missed it, quite frankly. But no big deal. And that kind of the same type of situation, shorting the bounce, costed me a great trade on MOGU. As I just mentioned, nice daily runner, overextension. There's no significant news to warrant the uptrend, but you have to assume that there are some shorts stuck in this. I mean, the float is 106 million, so the float is not large, and the volume today was roughly 24 million, so 23 million. But overall, nice move, and I started to get interested whenever this had a nice parabolic move. Again, I talk about not shorting into, again, my opinion, I don't like shorting into these parabolic moves. All these dips are getting bought back up, all these dips. I had a short order to short in this range right here. But as I mentioned, I didn't like mid-range. I didn't like the fact that this had a sideways price action. It was consolidating. Because again, whenever a stock consolidates, in my opinion, that attracts more buyers, because that could lead to another leg up. And I did happen to record this trade. I happened to record the afternoon move. So I'll show you that later on. I do have it. I'll upload it on YouTube. Perhaps this weekend or so. The file is kind of large, but again, that kind of saved me. I was watching the tape. The spread is very wide. It's a very quick mover. I mean, it moves like I'm not sure what the float is ideally, because the float says 106 million on my scans, but the float, the way it moves like a low float stock. But once more, don't try to find the exact top. Okay, I was being patient. I told myself I would rather be late than early, so I waited. And ideally, I don't want to short before 2:30, because of course power hour, this can easily squeeze up more. So I was patient, and again, we had that nice into the close, nice hard crack. And yes, you could say shorting right here. No, I wanted to see it crack. I want to see it crack 6, and it's not a coincidence it held a VWAP. That would have been a great buy, but quite frankly, I'm pathetic on my longs right now. I'm working on it. And once more, we have this bounce to short into. And once more, if you don't believe me, you don't have to, but I had an order to short this at, well, numerous. I was trying to short this, I mean, E-Trade, thank you, E-Trade, had tons of shares to short on this. I was trying to short this at 620, 640s, risking versus, again, the high of day break. I had an order to short at 640, risking 660, and that would have been a great trade. I mean, numerous times I could have shorted the pop. I could have shorted it as it based. Point is, I didn't take the trade. And point is that, again, I hesitated. And once more, the point of this video is to not hesitate. Because if you're hesitating, then you don't have edge, and you're trading randomly. And with this, I am going to start tracking these as like stat-wise, shorting the bounce after a nice hard pullback, because the risk reward is there. It's a high odds setup, shorting the first hard rebound after the first hard crack. Now again, I don't count these as shorting the bounce. These are nice fullbacks, and they're getting bought back up. Okay, all these are getting bought back up. I don't count these. I want to see at least a decent percent decline off the highs and have a nice solid bounce. I am upset because this would have been a nice gain. I probably, well, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have covered, but it's not done yet. This is gonna be a potential watch for a nice overextended gap down pattern. I'm gonna post this today. I'm filming this July 7th. No one's gonna watch it, but ideally tomorrow, again, my opinion, it's not stock advice, we'll watch it. Ideally, if it has a nice gap down, you can short it, risking the red to green area, risking previous close. I hope it does gap up, have a nice squeeze, but we'll see. I mean, the odds say this will gap down. Ideally, wait till 8 o'clock Eastern. That seems to be the period whenever a lot of volume and liquidity comes into play. But that's one to watch for tomorrow. Again, no need to short this out of the gates tomorrow, because no need to have emotions trade this. But all the odds indicate this will gap down. Again, there's no news to warrant the uptrend. This is just up on who knows what. But I assure you, this will come down eventually. But again, this was another one of short of the bounce, and I didn't pull the trigger. And down the road, that's something I'm working on. Like I just told you, I sound like a broken record. Is I have to focus on what I'm good at, and I know what I am good at: shorting overextended gap down plays, shorting the first group, as in shorting the first red day, or shorting into a bounce. Okay, those two are ideal. All right, and yes, I do have other plays like going long OTCs, but quite frankly, I haven't gone long in a while. I track my trades. The last time I went long, we can see here in my trade view. And again, being transparent is what I'm all about. If you made it this far, I'm not profitable. I'm down roughly 800 bucks. Again, I've only been trading for. I've only been trading. I mean, I'm not trading full time, as you can see, but I've been trading since late February. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, as you can see, I don't trade much, quite frankly, yet, because I'm at work. At my 9 to 5, but soon I do plan to leave. Well, not leave, to go part time and be in front of the screens more. But this is week 103 of me doing this, being immersed with the markets, and I haven't been trading for that long. I've only been trading for what you see here, and it takes time, okay? But as you can, as I was saying, I've only gone long. Let's see how many times. Detailed. I mean, going long, I have 48 trades going long, and the last time I went long was, damn, that's a long time ago. Was May? Damn. The last time I went long was May. That's crazy. I do go short more often. And as you can see here, my losses are greater on the short side, as you can see here. But for some odd reason, I know short selling gets a bad name, gets a bad rap, but I am just more comfortable shorting. I don't know why. Maybe because, damn it, maybe because it's all the statistics which I track over the past year or so. And I do have them, believe me. I'm not going to show you what's the point. No one made it this far. I mean, it's not that much. It's just some stats. But yeah, again, as a trader, find what fits you, okay? And yes, I am trying to work on going long, but quite frankly, I suck at dip buying. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I just can't do it. And quite frankly, I'm only great on going long any OTCs that are going on a multi-day breakout run, and ideally any as well listed breakouts. And one more, I'm not really the type that likes to buy listed stocks. Everyone was talking about HEPA, and I was watching it to have a breakout past 175, but the owed me as a trader would have been long buying strength, the 175, and as you can see, it's stuffed, right? And that's what I'm talking about. I'm just not. I would rather see this have a nice ramp past 475 and come back and base. That's what I would do, okay? Because more often than not, I have seen numerous times I get faked out. But yeah, so other than that, I'm gonna wrap this up now. It's kind of getting long. Solo, a small win overall. I mean, again, I don't really count winning $23 as a win. When I make 23 bucks, that shows you that the trade, something went wrong, and I already went over it. Be patient as your risk level holds. And tomorrow, top one to watch is MOGU. Ideally, a perfect world, this stock will gap down, and I don't want to short weakness. I want to short into any excessive morning ramp towards that previous close price, towards the red to green move. I pray I pray this gaps up. The higher the better for a nice fade. But other than that, once more, plug I'm watching for a nice rebound. All of these EV sector plays with BL1K, Workhorse, all of these plays, all right? Just understand their move based off sympathy, and understand Tesla is fueling them. When I typed that, Tesla is fueling them. But other than that, that's it. And if I do trade any more stocks, I'll be back to tell you about them. I'll be at work tomorrow, and I'll likely be able to trade Thursday and hopefully Friday. But other than that, hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment. And if you have any criticisms, leave a comment. I'm always welcome to hear what bad you have to say. And once more, the goal of these is just to track my trading in pursuit of success, right? But other than that, I hope you enjoyed and have a good day tomorrow of trading, and I'll see you soon.